The present time is unique in more ways than one, and the Christ is confronted with a unique occasion. This unique opportunity with which he is presented is brought about by certain world conditions which themselves are unique. He will use all possible channels whereby the consciousness of man may be enlarged and right orientation be brought about. It is truer to say that it is as world teacher that he will consistently work. Please watch on for the remarkable spiritual revelations of the esteemed author Alice Bailey, written under the guidance of the venerated Master Joel Kuhl.
Bonjour, bright-hearted viewers. Bonjour is hello in Guernsey, or Guernsey Norman French, one of the regional languages of Guernsey. I'm Michelle, the welcoming people of Guernsey, seeing you a true friend, and send you warm wishes for a happy and peaceful life in the Divine's grace. Alice Bailey was an extraordinary British-American esoteric author of the 20th century. She was one of the first to use the term New Age, referring to a better future for the world that fulfills the divine plan of love and light. Born in 1880, Alice Bailey in her youth was a devoted Christian who later developed an extensive knowledge and practice of theosophy. In 1919, at the age of 39, she began a spiritual journey of inner telepathic communications with a great ascended master, Joel Kuhl, also called the Tibetan or Master DK. Over the next 3 decades, until the end of her life, the master thus transmitted ancient teachings of the ageless wisdom to his chosen disciple, which she diligently recorded as 19 books. In addition, Alice Bailey wrote other profound books on her own. In 1922, Alice Bailey and her husband, Foster Bailey, founded the Lucis Trust and the Arcane School to offer the teachings and meditation guidance to the public. The non-profit Lucis Trust is still active today and continues to publish Alice Bailey's works, including as free ebooks for people to study in this special period of our planet. We will now read an excerpt from Alice Bailey's prophetic book, The Reappearance of the Christ, about the unique factors that will mark the way the Christ will carry out his work during his next re-emergence on earth. Chapter 2. Christ's Unique Occasion, The World Today. In any acceptance of the teaching that Christ will come, one of the difficulties today is the feeling that the teaching has been given for many centuries and nothing has ever happened. That is a statement of fact, and here lies a great deal of our trouble. The expectancy of his coming is nothing new. In it lies nothing unique or different. Those who still hold to the idea are regarded tolerantly, or with amusement or pity, as the case may be. A study of times and seasons, of significances, of divine intention, or of the will of God, plus a consideration of the world situation, may lead us, however, to believe that the present time is unique in more ways than one, and that the Christ is confronted with a unique occasion. This unique opportunity with which he is presented is brought about by certain world conditions, which themselves are unique. There are factors present in the world today, and happenings have taken place within the past century which have never before occurred. It might profit us if we considered these matters and so gained a better perspective. The world to which he will come is a new world, if not yet a better world. New ideas are occupying people's minds, and new problems await solution. Let us look at this uniqueness and gain some knowledge of the situation into which the Christ will be precipitated. Let us be realistic in our approach to this theme and avoid mystical and vague thinking. If it is true that he plans to reappear, if it is a fact that he will bring his disciples, the masters of the wisdom, with him, and if this coming is imminent, what are some of the factors which he and they must take into consideration? First of all, he will come to a world which is essentially one world. His reappearance and his consequent work cannot be confined to one small locality or domain unheard of by the great majority, as was the case when he was here before. The radio, the press, and the dissemination of news will make his coming different to that of any previous messenger. The swift modes of transportation will make him available to countless millions, and by boat, rail, and plane they can reach him. Through television, his face can be made familiar to all, and verily, every eye shall see him. Even if there is no general recognition of his spiritual status and his message, there must necessarily be a universal interest. For today, even the many false Christs and messengers are finding this universal curiosity and cannot be hidden. This creates a unique condition in which to work, and one which no salvaging, energizing Son of God has ever before had to face. The sensitivity of the people of the world to what is new or needed is also uniquely different. Man has progressed far in his reaction to both good and evil, and possesses a far more sensitive response apparatus than did humanity in those earlier times. If there was a quick response to the messenger when he came before, it will be more general and quicker now, both in rejection and in acceptance. Men are more inquiring, better educated, more intuitive and more expectant of the unusual and the unique than at any other time in history. Their intellectual perception is keener, their sense of values more acute, their ability to discriminate and choose is fast developing, and they penetrate more quickly into significances. These facts will condition the reappearance of the Christ and tend to a more rapid spreading of the news of his coming and the contents of his message. Today, when he comes, he will find a world uniquely free from the grip and hold of ecclesiasticism. He may reappear in a totally unexpected guise. Who is to say whether he will come as a politician, an economist, a leader of the people arising from the midst of them, a scientist, or an artist? It is a fallacy to believe, as some do, that the main trend of Christ's work will be through the medium of the churches or the world religions. He necessarily will work through them when conditions permit, and there is a living nucleus of true spirituality within them, or when their invocative appeal is potent enough to reach him. He will use all possible channels whereby the consciousness of man may be enlarged and right orientation be brought about. It is, however, truer to say that it is as world teacher that he will consistently work, and that the churches are but one of the teaching avenues he will employ. All that enlightens the minds of men, all that tends to bring about right human relations, all modes of acquiring real knowledge, all methods of transmuting knowledge into wisdom and understanding, all that expands the consciousness of humanity and of all subhuman states of awareness and sensitivity, all that dispels glamour and illusion and that disrupts crystallization and disturbs static conditions will come under the realistic activities of the hierarchy which he supervises. he will be limited by the quality and the caliber of the invocative appeal of humanity, and that, in its turn, is conditioned by the attained point in evolution. For more details and the full online version of Alice Bailey's book, The Reappearance of the Christ, please visit lucistrust.org. Intuitive viewers, it was an honor to have your company for today's Words of Wisdom. Please join us again tomorrow for the second part of The Reappearance of the Christ by Alice Bailey, selection from Christ's Unique Occasion.